streaming? Yeah, okay. Should be live. Just like sure. One second. Okay, and I'm live. Right. Okay. I will give a few minutes on this. The reason I'm doing this is because the card starts at 5. I don't really have much time. My throat's also absolutely fucked. Ignore that for this video, or ignore that for these picks. So I suppose instead of me going ignore that. But instead of me wasting my time doing all the edits and everything I usually do for a video, let me just quickly get down to it. We'll get down to the lock of the week. I'm going to do this in the same format, but I'm just going to change it. So, right, we'll get down to the lock of the week. No. You know, I was going to do the intro and all that, but, you know what. Hold on. Nah, I have a way to do this. You're not going to be able to see it, but it's fine. Give me 1 second. I'm still trying to find a fucking clip of this, lad. Oh my fucking god. Christ. Hold on, let me just see. Does this have an intro? Just give me 1 second. I probably should connect my AirPods for a minute just to see. No, okay. You know what? Did I have the intro here? Hold on, the user of a full fight. I'm just not sure that I have the intros. This is actually done by Jillian Garcia, of all people. Right, she used to be the WWE announcer. Anyways, this isn't really important. I'll keep the same thing as we usually do for the videos. Right, there's the lock of the week.
7 victories with only 1 loss and 5 wins by way of stoppage. Fighting out of Auchi, Nigeria, here is Muhammad the Motor Usman.
Yes, so if you didn't hear that one, the lock of the week this week's going to be Muhammad Usman. Now, I'm going to do this kind of fast, but I do believe that Muhammad Usman is not the greatest heavyweight on planet Earth, nor do I think Al-Zwabzi, or however you say his name, Al-Dahabdi, the Egyptian man he's fighting, is good either. I don't think they're either great heavyweights, but I do think that Jamal Pogues, even Al-Abdi, admitted that in the post-fight interview, that he lost that fight. I do think Kamaru Usman has the striking advantage in this fight. I don't think the grappling exactly, but I do think a 29-28, very close split decision. I'm going to say they won't rob Usman this time. I don't know what the commission is in Azerbaijan, I'm not sure, but I assume they probably won't rob Muhammad Usman. I think Muhammad Usman will take it. I think the grappling is very even between the two of them. I don't think either of them have better grappling. It's Al-Habdi looks terrible off the juice after beating Cans. He does look awful when he can't be on the juice. Muhammad Usman does not look good in the UFC, but he does have better takedowns. In my opinion, he can probably sprawl and lie on you a lot better. He's a bit more of a blanket, bit more of a wet blanket for 15 minutes. I think he should be able to hold it. Take not a very interesting fight, don't get me wrong, but a good decision all the same. Right, we'll move down to the favourites. This is how I actually do this, if anyone's ever wondering. But look, we'll move down to the favourites. I'm just going to do this quickly. So, Jung Chung Park, Iron Turtle, Jung Park. He's fighting an actual Azerbaijani. Now, I'm not picking the Azerbaijani lad because, to be honest, his record very kind of muck. Watched a lot of his stuff. Did not think that he was exactly brilliant. Iron Turtle has been falling off a tiny little bit. Sorry, I'm trying to find topology. Look, let me just use the PC. I'll just use on the PC. Hold on. Just a bit more fucking stuff that goes into these. Sorry, he's fighting a Moroccan, Ismail Nadavi. Now, look, he's 3-2 in the UFC. He's beaten Bruno Silva and Bruno Silva recently. Bruno Silva, I think, has retired since this, so, not brilliant. Iron Turtle has been on a bit of a slide. I won't argue it, but he has been bad. Tavares recently lost Andrew Munoz, beat Albert Davayev by submission, Dennis Stoluden. Look, both of them have not beaten great competition. I'm not going to act like they have, because they haven't. But I will give Jung Park that I do think he still has the better strike and still has the better wrestling between the two of them. I think he's a bit sore on the feet, but I don't think that's going to make too much of a difference because I think he's just going to be able to neutralise it with very good grappling inside this fight. Submission very much on the cards for me for Iron Turtle here. I do think a rear naked choke is very much going on the cards, but we'll say he wins it by decision. I do think submission's live, but by decision, probably another 29-28. Pretty fun fight though. I do think this one's going to be a bit of fun. Next we go into Samakov. Now look, the Black Wolf, I don't think Mata has really fought a massive amount. He's not really coming in here. I think he's taken nearly a year break. Last fight beat Mashar Shar, which is basically the Indonesian lad who isn't very good. And Tom Nolan, he had an overturn. He has only lost to Morwell Torres and Jim Miller. So they're two very high ranking UFC fighters. I just think personally, when I saw Sarakov, Black Wolf in Azerbaijan, robbery incoming, I do think it'd be a close fight. There could be a finish in this one though, all the same, because Asir Alnash does have a lot of KO finishes, does have good striking power. But I can see this being more of one of these very, very close fights that goes to decision and the judges rob it to him because it's in Azerbaijan. Next, we'll go down to Curtis Blades. Now, to be honest, the Curtis Blades fight to me doesn't even make any sense because Curtis Blades is, top 5, maybe even 4th ranked heavyweight, maybe dropped down since, only lost to Tom Aspinall, the top of the division. And you're giving him Rastan Karaskov, who has just crushed cans and won twice in the Contender Series. He has a no contest to Henan Ferreira, who, Francis Ngannou knocked out in, 30 seconds. So, to be honest, I'm not exactly too high on this lad. I do think another non-juice situation is going to happen here where Curtis Blades is going to make him look like an absolute amateur. I do know that Kurskov has a massive wrestling background, but I really don't think it's going to make that much of a difference. I think the UFC might be giving him a bit too much of a task. I remember him on the Contender Series, but I just think Curtis Blades is going to absolutely dominate him, and I don't really think there's any point to even looking at it. And then next, we go into Oban Elliott. Now, Oban Elliott is fighting Shoyan Kyo? I don't know how you say his name. But he has one win in the UFC and he's come off the Contender Series. Personally, I just don't think he has the tools. I've watched him on the Contender Series. I remember Oban Elliott, the Welsh Gangster. I don't think he has the tools to beat the Welsh Gangster. The Welsh Gangster is just too fucking good. Do find a fun fight here, maybe fight of the night, but to be honest, I don't know. Striking's very similar, grappling's very similar. I just think Oban Elliott will prove at the UFC level that he's the more gritty one. He has the more fights, the better experience. I just think experience will carry him through and grit. But look, we'll go down to the underdogs now. Right, there is only one underdog because I think this card's odds are fucking shite. Now, to be honest, they're muck. But we are going to go with the underdog of Bogdan Grad. Bogdan Grad is fighting Mohamed Nimanov, the Hillman. Now, Hillman has only beaten Konafi. He's lost to, not only, but only recently he's beaten Konafi. He lost to Felipe Lima, Eric Silva. Nathaniel Wood is a very big win, but that was a bit more of a robbery, and the Eric Silva one was a leg injury. Look, I don't think he's that bad. I really don't. I just think that Bogdan Grad has proven so far with his elusive striking. He's looked really, really good inside the UFC. Now, this could be a completely different fight, and I might have this one all wrong, but I do think that the striking advantage goes to Bogdan Grad, and I do think he has decent wrestling to be able to hold it. Decent wrestling. I'm not going to say that he's going to not get taken down, or but I don't think he's going to be dominated. I don't think he's going to stand his back. I do think he's going to be able to scramble and get up once it hits the feet. Bogdan Grad, he's like McGregor-esque. He's very McGregor-esque, very, very, very fluent in the movement. He just moves naturally the way that you want someone to fight, and it's very fun to watch. So I will be excited to watch Bogdan Grad, and yeah, I do think that's the underdog on 9-4. So yeah, look, that's going to be the video, or the live stream mess up. I'm not going to keep this. I'm going to keep this short. I'm going to keep this brief. I don't really see much point of me wasting too much time here. But anyways, if you did enjoy, obviously, this stream and the video, it's been 10 minutes. I'm not going to go over that. I don't see the point. This card will be on a 5. I won't be able to stream probably maybe the first 3 or 4 fights. So I was going to do a live reaction, but I'm actually not going to be here. I have to go to a family anniversary, or family funeral, say. That's really all I have to go to. So, if you did enjoy the video, please hit the, if you did enjoy the stream and, you're here, thank you for coming in, and I'll see you probably in about 2-3 hours, maybe in 2 hours. I'll see you back here, and I'll be doing live reaction to the rest of the card. So I'm actually going to miss the lock fight, so let's just hope Usman actually wins that. I do have Usman backed. Oh, shit, just before I leave, sorry, there was actually one more thing I wanted to bring in. Because I do think there's great prop odds on this card, I was thinking of bringing in, do I have this back to my account? Let me just see. You can't see my screen, can you? No, okay, right. So I don't want anyone getting my password to my betting. Christ, I'd be bankrupt. Oh, fucking hell. Right, oh, fuck off, Discord. Christ, I'm not trying to overlay it. Okay, no, okay, I did back this. Okay, right. I did back it, we're all good. Oh, fucking hell, it is boiling in Ireland. If anyone lives in Ireland, it's fucking odd. This ridiculous, Christ. Yeah, so this is the bet I was talking about. So I'm actually going to go with the 2 women's fights and the Somakov fight. I know what I just said in the favourites, but this is a bit more of a punt. It's worth 40 quid. I actually don't think either 2 of these women's fights will go to decision. I think both of them have such low average times in the octagon. Let me look this up, hold on, because I know that these are really, really low odds and times inside the UFC, because I was looking at it yesterday for the most complete fight time. I think one of the fucking average fight times for one of the women is like 5 minutes. Yeah, 8:36 and 6:20. So both these never actually finished fights. I think on both their records, if I remember correctly, I think they've both only lost once by decision. They only have 2 losses. I think it's her 2 losses were by decision, and she doesn't have any decision losses, the Polish one. She has one knockout loss in the 2nd round and 1 sub in the 3rd. So by using this, and the funny thing is, I didn't even talk about this fight, but Irene Alaska and the other random woman here, Claudia Sagalila, they both actually lost to Marissa Mullins, which is kind of funny. So the matchmaking is just 2 people who lost to Marissa Mullins who fights right after them. So that is kind of funny. But look, personally, I could just see like a slimy submission, something like that. Like, again, Irina Alaska's name is Russian Ronda, so I would assume, by it, she has a lot of... She doesn't have many submission wins. She has 2. They've both crushed cans. I will just be honest. They're both just fighting like absolute shit, both of them. But still, I do think there's a finish between that. Marissa Mullins pulled out a finish in her last win. I think she could do it again. She's really, really good when hits the mat. I do think Marissa Mullins actually has a really, really underrated top game. When she gets on top mount, she's really, really good. And as I said with the Somakov fight, this is a bit of a punt, but I can see a finish in it. To me, now in hindsight, I do think it's going to go to decision, but I will keep it, because the knockout to me is very high by Somakov. And I'm not saying Nicholas Mata doesn't hit hard. He does. Nicholas Mata hits hard. If he catches him, it could be good night, Irene. But, right, enough of my jibber jabber. I gotta go. So, anyways, if you did enjoy this stream, thanks for popping in. This saves a video, obviously. And, yeah, I'll be back in around 2 hours to live stream Baku. But, anyways, yeah, I'll see you later. I'm being a very